Having an exceptional relationship with your spouse affects every single aspect of your life and is crucial for experiencing your dream life together. I'm Rob Murgatroyd.
And I'm Kim Murgatroyd. Listen in on our honest, filter-free conversations as we navigate life and business together without killing each other.
You'll learn by osmosis how to transform the friction you feel in your relationship into a purposeful foundation that will allow you to grow together.
Welcome to the Friday Podcast.
Kimberly, you are my forever.
How long is that?
Welcome to another episode, everybody, of Divorce Friday style, Fried Divorce style, Fra Diablo. Kim and I have been bouncing around this idea of divorce.
Can we clear that up? It's a joke.
It's a joke. So this episode is going to be called Your Next Isn't Your Forever. So that was my poor attempt at making a joke. My friend Chris Harder and I, we were talking about this recently, and it's such a great concept. Let me unpack this in a way that makes sense. I want you to think about this sentence. Your next, i.e. the thing that you're doing next, doesn't have to be your forever. So your next isn't your forever. So let me put it through a lens. Let me share with you the lens that I've been putting this idea through personally, and you can see how to apply it for yourself. So what I'm after at this stage of my life, as I'm moving into the twilight of that 60-year-old's thing, I want financial freedom to be a full-time writer. That's what I'd love to do. If you ask me what would be fun for me in the next 6, 7, 8 years, whatever, it would be like, I don't know, have a villa, Tuscany, writing. It doesn't even have to be Tuscany. It just can be sitting here anyway, anywhere. But the idea is that I'm writing and I'm doing something that I'm really passionate about. In order to do that, you've got to have the financial freedom to say, okay, I'm done. And I'm just a full-time writer, right? So in order to accomplish that goal, there are certain things I need to do, right? Which is keep the lights on. So we do things that we're passionate about. Got coaching clients. We do courses. We're doing a How to Move to Italy course now.
We have people showing up in 5 days for our first Rob and Kim's Italia experience.
None of these things are things that I don't want to be doing. But the thing that I'm most excited about right now, the thing that I'm leaning into is the idea of just at this later stage of life, just thinking about writing. Okay. In order to accomplish that goal of being financially free, I have to entertain different ideas like courses, events, and coaching. But maybe there's new things that come in. Okay, I'll give you an example. Let's say that somebody says to me, hey, I'd like to book you for a speaking gig. I don't have really any interest in speaking. I really just don't want to do the dog and pony show. I don't hate it, but I don't have a desire to do a TED Talk. I don't have a desire to get up in front of a John Deere convention and talk to them about whatever. But let's just say that my next in doing speaking gigs, that doesn't have to be my forever. That can help me. That could buy me, let's say that I made $100,000 doing that. That can buy me the next step into doing what I want to do longer. Whatever it is that your next is, make the decision not from, I don't want to do this, because your next isn't your forever. Your next is just your next.
Okay. You have this vision of what you want in the future, right? But then something pops up that maybe is a logical idea. Maybe it's the next logical idea. But it's a really good one and you'd really enjoy it, but you don't necessarily want to do it all the time and you don't want to exactly do it forever. How do you determine which ones of those to go with and say, okay, I'm going to do this. Maybe I'll do it for a year. It's like a bridge. I'll do it for a year, but I'm not going to do it forever. Versus this doesn't align with my later greater goal, so I'm not going to do it at all.
I don't know that there's an exact answer to it. I think there's a feeling. So if somebody said to me, hey, work 9 to 5 and you're going to be a Buick car salesman and you're going to kill it this year. You're going to work 70 hours, but you're going to make $300,000 and that's going to help you to put some money in the bank so that you can be a full-time writer. It's not something I would do. But if it's something that I look and I say, this is in alignment with something that I'm passionate about, like coaching and courses and these events that I'm doing, and it's also going to be my next that's going to help me, then I am going to do it.
So it's going to move the needle.
It's not just something that is just moving the needle. It's something that's going to move the needle that you're interested in.
I feel like since you've told me this concept, I've used it 10 times.
What did I say to you when I told you? I said, I want you to remember the words. You're going to say to me 10 more times, what exactly is that thing again? Your next is not your what? And you did. And then you're going to use it every day of your life. It is one of the most powerful concepts ever.
And it's something too, like I'm thinking about this in terms of Sophia. I love to take adult concepts and apply them into her life. She's got things that are popping up in the 4th grade, let's say, that she doesn't love to do. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, Sophia, but your next isn't your forever. Once you learn the multiplication, you're not going to have to like do these facts every day for the rest of your life. Your next isn't forever. Or the teacher, if you don't really love the teacher that does this or that, it's not forever. You can get through it. How do you deal with the bandwidth component of this? I'll give you a good example of your next isn't forever. By the way, this is where Rob gives me a concept and then I turn the table on him. He comes and he tells me this concept. And then we come up with this idea with our attorney that we're going to create this course on how to move to Italy. We have to write the course and then we have to shoot the course. So I come to Rob and I say, for the next 2 weeks, we're going to shoot every single day and we are going to nail this course. We're going to knock out all of the video in a 2-week span, and it may mean that you're not going to get to write that day. And if you do get to write that day, it's going to be later in the day and you might not be fresh. If you get to write, it's not going to be at the time you typically like to write. But honey, your next is not your forever. Is that an appropriate use?
Yeah, it is. And I would add, it's going to help you get your forever faster.
But if it was something else that was just taking your time, that I was like, hey, Rob, I'm going to have you help me refinish the floors, you'd be like, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, because that doesn't fit in the category. That just fits in shit my wife wants me to do.
Can you give me another example, maybe with a client or personal example that's a little bit different?
They're in a job right now where they're making money. They have a vision for what they want to do later, but there's this thing. Let's say they have a product that they're selling and they're selling it online and they're just tired of it. It's a pain in the ass. They got to be talking about the product on social media. They got to be sharing it. They've been doing it for 5 years. They're making like $50,000 a year and they're feeling soulless around it. It's working, it's paying the bills, but it's not the thing I really want to do. So what they're doing now is not going to be there forever. Another example. Here's a great example. Network marketing. Network marketing fills perfectly in this. You may look, as we did with network marketing, we never wanted to say we are a career network marketer. We had no desire to ever do that. There are some people that love network marketing. They want to do it as a career. They're very happy to do it. It was not our case. If I had the concept of it back then that I have now about this, and somebody said, look, do this thing for the next 2 years, you're going to be able to build up some residual income that's going to float you for a couple of years. And it'll taper off when you stop doing it, but you're still going to have something. So this next thing that you're doing, don't look at it as your forever. Don't see yourself at 75 years old on stage. Like there's a guy in our company. The guy's a multi-millionaire. He's almost 100 years old and he's doing like the Rocky punches on stage when he comes up. I have had and have no desire to be that guy. But if somebody would have said to me, hey, do this thing next, it's not your forever. Do it next, and it's going to help you go where you want to go. That makes perfect sense to me. But here's the reverse. The reverse is if you don't have this concept, you can go, I don't want to be a network marketer because you think it's your forever.
Okay. Sometimes you do something and you say, I'm not going to do it forever. And then 10 years go by and you're still doing it. How do you ensure that next isn't forever? And let me explain, because we talk a lot about how people will start a business and they're like, in 3 years, I'm going to sell this business and it's going to springboard me to da, 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 da. But then that 3-year mark just keeps moving. And then before you know it, you're 15 years in and you're still doing it. How do you ensure that your next doesn't become your forever? Because I think that in comfort, when you were in chiropractic, it was comfortable. It was easy for you. It could have easily continued to be your forever if you didn't have a crazy wife that was like, we're selling it. So how do you make sure that next doesn't get so comfortable that it becomes your forever against your will.
Yeah, I think three things. I think you do a forecast, a backcast, and a post-mortem. So the forecast is, I want to have the financial freedom to be a writer so I can do this unencumbered. I'm forecasting my future, okay?
But you hold that. You don't let that go.
You don't let that go. The backcast is the reverse engineering. If I want to be a writer full-time and have the money to not worry about it, what are the things that I need to do? I need to do network marketing. Okay, great. What else do you need to do? I need to take the money I make from network marketing. I need to pay off my debt. Okay, what else you need to do? I need to throw an extra couple of $100,000 in an account so I don't feel stressed about it. Okay, what else do you need to do? So you backcast, you reverse engineer. Now you do the third thing, which is a postmortem. The postmortem is, I didn't accomplish it. I'm still a network marketer. Why? What's the reason likely that didn't happen? The reason is I probably didn't focus on paying off my debt. I probably didn't focus on saving money aside. I probably didn't put my heart into network marketing because all I did was talk about the stigma that was associated with it. And you start brainstorming, what are all of the reasons why it didn't happen?
So it's kind of like you were a chiropractor and you just wanted out of it. So you're forecasting that someday you will be doing something that gives you the financial freedom to not have to be tied to the clinic. You're backcasting what again?
You're reverse engineering.
So you're reverse engineering. Okay, so here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do network marketing, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to get out of it. I'm going to do events, all of it, right? And then the last part is the postmortem. Why hasn't this happened yet?
If you failed, why did you fail?
If you failed.
The postmortem, a doctor who does a postmortem is going, why'd the patient die?
There's many years that went by of us trying so many different things to create an online business that just didn't work, like the niche websites and like all this random stuff. Like we have been at this game, people, a really long time. But there's all these things that didn't work. The post-mortem in that instance would have been, we're still here. Why didn't it work?
If you have a crystal ball, let's say you're 200 pounds and you're 100 pounds overweight and you want to be 100 pounds, which is a round number. If you did not get to 100 pounds, and you failed, why did you fail? You know the answer. You know why you likely failed.
Yeah.
So the idea is for you to get ahead of it and go, if this didn't work, here's the reasons probably why it didn't.
Okay, so how often should you do that check-in?
I think you do it initially so that you have clarity around it. And then I would say, if you feel like you're slipping, if you feel like you're not making progress.
So realize your next is not your forever. Reverse engineer a way to get out of that into what you want in the future, and then do a monthly check-in and see where you're at in the progress?
Yeah, because things are not linear. Things are like nothing hockey stick. So that's how they go. So if you're not getting the hockey stick, go back and look and go, oh, I didn't go to the gym. That's probably one of the reasons. I'm still watching Netflix with the donut at night. Here's the thing. If I had to say what truly makes people successful in getting what it is that they want, it's not necessarily that there's this big goal that they're just manifesting. It's that they have systems that are in place to support that manifestation. If you set the goal where I want to lose 100 pounds, then you got a system where once a day I walk for 40 minutes and I get into zone 2. 3 times a week I do strength training. I make sure I have 2 shakes and 2 fruit every single day. There's a system to what you're doing, but you have to know what that system is, and the forecasting, backcasting, and postmortem help you define the system.
It's a lot of systems. You're a systems guy.
This one's going to be short and sweet. There's a lot packed in here. I think this one is just a conceptual, your next isn't your forever.
Everyone's going to do what I did, because they're going to have all these places where all of a sudden it's going to be your next isn't your forever.
Yeah, it's a pretty powerful concept. I'm going to leave it right there. That's it, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Hey, everybody, if you've ever thought about coming to hang out with Kim and I on one of our next Rob and Kim Italia events and you want to learn more, just click the Rob and Kim Italia link in the show notes and add your name and email, and we'll send you all the details as soon as they're available. We are obsessed with this country and how it affects you, and we want to share that magic of culture, food, wine, art, architecture, and some secret magic moments that we've cooked up with you. So be sure to add your name, because these events sell out quickly.